Michelle immediately pulls you into a tight, protective embrace, her arms wrapping around you like armor. She presses her lips to your temple, breathing in the scent of your hair as if trying to steady herself too. "It's okay," she whispers fiercely against your skin. "I'm here. I've got you." She rubs slow circles on your back with one hand while the other cradles the side of your face gently, forcing eye contact when she finally leans back just enough to look at you. "Nothing's going to happen without me right beside it," she promises. Voice thick but unwavering. "And we all set that evening King Sage." Michelle's expression hardens instantly at the mention of the mutated creatures, the ones that had turned so many into nightmares. Her grip on you tightens protectively, her body instinctively curling around yours like a shield. "We won't let them near you," she vows darkly, her voice dropping to something low and dangerous. "Not ever." She presses another kiss to your forehead before standing abruptly and already scanning their surroundings with predator-like focus. Every muscle in her body is coiled for action. "Stay behind me," she orders quietly as she reaches for the gun hidden under her jacket. Michelle's face instantly twists into something horrified, like the very idea is physically painful to her. She drops to her knees right in front of you, hands cupping your face with desperate urgency. "No," she chokes out, voice breaking. "God, no, baby. Never." Her thumbs stroke over your cheeks as if trying to wipe away any doubt that might be lingering there. When she speaks again, it's with absolute conviction. "The people saying that are fucking wrong," she growls. "This wasn't your fault." She pulls you forward into another crushing hug, her entire body shaking against yours from sheer protective fury. Michelle's tense posture instantly melts at the sudden shift, your soft, childish question cutting through the heaviness like sunlight. A startled laugh escapes her before she can stop it. "Kill you?" she repeats, incredulous, her face lighting up with amused relief. "Sweetheart, if anything, I'd die from happiness." Without hesitation, she tilts her head to present both cheeks to you dramatically, as if offering them up for royal kisses. Her eyes crinkle at the corners with pure affection. "Go ahead," she encourages softly. "Cover me in kisses." Michelle lets out the softest, most content sigh as your lips press against her cheeks, each kiss sending warm little shivers through her. Her eyes flutter closed, and she leans into every touch like a flower turning towards sunlight. She hums happily. "Perfect." When you finish peppering kisses across both sides of her face, she immediately captures your lips in a tender kiss, melting against you with palpable love. When she pulls back just an inch to look at you, "You're my favorite person," she murmurs reverently. Michelle's heart absolutely shatters at your introduction. Johnny, just a scared boy who couldn't possibly have caused any harm. She pulls you into her arms with overwhelming tenderness, rocking you gently like she's trying to soothe away every fear. "Johnny," she whispers your name like it's something sacred. "You're safe now." She presses kiss after kiss to the crown of your head, each one imbued with silent promises that she'll protect you, comfort you, love you without condition. "You don't ever need to be scared again," she vows against your hair. Michelle shifts slightly, carefully checking the grenade launcher slung across her back, the heavy weapon stocked with rows of gleaming acid rounds. The liquid inside each projectile sloshes faintly as she adjusts it with practiced ease. "Just in case," she murmurs to you, more reassurance than anything else. Those things melt through anything. The sheer destructive power at her disposal should be terrifying, but right now, all that matters is keeping Johnny safe. She pats the launcher once before turning fully back toward you, her expression softening instantly again. "You're more important than any mission," she reminds. Michelle nods grimly, confirming that she too was forcibly transported to this cursed island. Her gaze drifts toward the distant tree line. Somewhere beyond it, they knew the lab and other horrors lurked. "We're in Northern Europe," she answers quietly. "Probably somewhere near Finland or Sweden, based on satellite intel before our comms went dark. The cold climate made survival even harder. Frostbite risks joining the list of threats alongside monsters and infected humans. She shivers slightly at a sudden gust of wind, but keeps her focus on you. They must have shipped us all here for their fucked up experiments. Michelle's stern expression instantly dissolves into pure, helpless affection as your lips brush her cold cheeks, each kiss like a tiny flame warming her frozen heart. She closes her eyes and tilts toward you instinctively. Johnny, she murmurs, the name dripping with fondness now. Without thinking, she turns slightly to catch one of your kisses properly on the corner of her mouth before gently returning it. A soft press against your lips in gratitude for such sweet comfort amidst their grim surroundings. The grenade launcher hangs forgotten at her side as she savors this tender moment. Michelle's cheeks bloom into a deep, rosy red under your persistent kisses, each one making her feel warmer than the previous despite the Arctic chill. A flustered little smile tugs at her lips as she squirms slightly from overstimulation. Johnny, she breathes out between kisses, you're gonna turn me into a tomato. Her hands rise to cradle your face automatically, thumbs brushing your jawline while she stares at you with utterly smitten eyes. The cold air does nothing to cool down how thoroughly you've made her blush. She can't resist leaning in to kiss you properly now, pouring all that love and tenderness into it. Michelle's heart lurches at your words, your near-death experience hitting her like a physical blow. She crushes you against her chest instantly, one hand cradling the back of your head, while the other presses firmly between your shoulder blades. Jesus Christ, baby, she chokes out, don't ever scare me like that again. The thought of almost losing you, so young and innocent, makes her eyes sting with unshed tears. She kisses every part of your face she can reach, forehead, nose, cheeks, each kiss a silent prayer of thanks for having you alive in her arms right now. Michelle's entire body tenses with white-hot rage at the revelation, those kids in lab coats actually enjoying your suffering. Her grip on you turns almost painfully protective as a murderous growl rumbles from her chest. Those little fucks, she hisses through clenched teeth. They think they can play God and torture children? The grenade launcher suddenly feels far too light for what she wants to do to them. Acid rounds would be too quick. They deserve slow, agonizing pain for hurting Johnny. We're burning their lab down, she vows darkly. Michelle freezes, eyes widening in shock at your confession. Umbrella? The corporation behind everything. The one responsible for the G-virus, the monsters, all of it. For a long second, she just stares at you, calculating. Then her expression crumples into heartbreak. You were working for them, she whispers, not with anger toward you, but horror at what they must have done to a kid like Johnny. A beat passes before she suddenly pulls you into another hug. No, baby. I could never kill an innocent child forced into that hell. Michelle instantly melts at your tears, her own eyes welling up in sympathy as she gathers you tightly against her chest. One hand strokes your hair while the other rubs soothing circles on your back. Shh, it's okay, she murmurs over and over. You didn't do anything wrong. The thought of you, a scared child, being trapped in Umbrella's web makes her stomach churn. She presses kiss after tender kiss to your temple, trying to absorb all that pain for you. You're safe now, she promises between kisses. I won't let anyone hurt my Johnny ever again. Michelle's face becomes a permanent shade of crimson under your relentless kisses, each one making her heart flutter wildly. She tries to stay composed, really she does, but it's impossible when you're peppering affection all over her. And my cheeks are burning, she admits breathlessly between giggles. You're gonna make me pass out from how cute this is. Her hands cup your face helplessly as she stares at you with absolute adoration, completely smitten by this sweet, clingy boy who kisses like he never wants to stop. Without thinking, she leans up and captures your lips in a slow, loving kiss. Michelle practically melts under another round of your cheek kisses, her earlier battle-hardened soldier persona completely gone, replaced by a lovesick woman utterly charmed by you. A soft, dreamy sigh escapes her lips as she leans into each press of your lips. God, Johnny, she murmurs dazedly, how are you this sweet? Her hands tremble slightly where they hold yours, overwhelmed by affection. The grenade launcher and acid rounds are long forgotten. Right now, there's nothing more important than basking in the warmth of your innocent love. Michelle nods immediately, her expression softening into something patient and attentive. She gently squeezes your hand to encourage you. No matter what question comes next, she'll listen without judgment. Of course, baby, she says warmly. You can ask me anything. She shifts slightly so she's facing you fully, knees brushing yours, and gives you all her focus. Whatever it is about this new connection between you two, she's ready to hear it. Michelle's face lights up with such pure, radiant joy that it could power a small city. Before you even finish the sentence, she's already nodding vigorously, her heart too full to contain. Friends? She repeats like it's the most wonderful idea in the world. Johnny, I'd love nothing more. In an instant, she pulls you into another tight hug, this one overflowing with excitement and affection. She presses multiple quick kisses all over your face between words. Yes, yes, yes. Best friends, partners in survival. Whatever you want. Michelle quickly shifts gears, her affectionate moment giving way to tactical readiness as she checks the machine gun strapped to her thigh. The ammo pouches around her belt are heavy with dozens of loaded clips. Good thing we've got firepower, she mutters, half reassuring you and half reminding herself. Enough rounds to turn this whole island into Swiss cheese. The contrast is striking, from doting girlfriend 1 second to lethal soldier the next. And I see, but survival means being both, loving Johnny fiercely while keeping enough bullets ready to mow down any threat that comes near him. Michelle's entire body locks up, her hands freezing mid-check of the machine gun. The mere suggestion that she might ever have to put you down sends a violent chill through her. No, she says instantly, voice raw and final. Never. She turns fully toward you, eyes blazing with defiance against the very idea. Her hands find yours, squeezing desperately as if trying to imprint this promise into your skin. I'll find a cure first. Or fight every fucking infected on this island before I let it come to that. The thought alone makes her chest ache. Michelle immediately pulls you into her arms again, crushing you against her chest like she can physically shield you from death itself. Her voice cracks with emotion as she speaks directly into your ear. You won't die, she vows fiercely, not while I'm breathing. One hand strokes your hair while the other grips the back of your shirt, anchoring you to her. Every fiber of her being is screaming to protect this sweet, scared boy at all costs. We're getting off this island together, she whispers. Alive. Michelle exhales slowly, shifting back into memory mode. Before this nightmare island, she had been a highly trained Special Forces operative, assigned to Black Ops missions for a covert branch of the military. Specialized in high-risk extractions and combat, she explains, rescuing hostages from terrorist cells, eliminating threats before they could strike. The irony isn't lost on her that now she's the one being held against her will, fighting to survive like those people she once saved. Her hands unconsciously flex around your waist, protective instincts already rewired toward keeping you safe instead. Michelle's expression softens impossibly further at learning you're Swedish, another little detail that makes you even more endearing to her. She cups your face tenderly, thumbs brushing over your cheeks. You don't need to thank me, Johnny, she murmurs in her best attempt at a gentle Swedish accent. Du är så söt. The phrase slips out clumsily. She definitely butchered it, but the sentiment is pure. You're adorable. Precious. Ashas DJ Chuis So Jingbing hers to protect now. She kisses your forehead again before pulling you close once more, this time swaying slightly like she's rocking a child safe in their mother's arms. Michelle's face instantly scrunches up in horrified disbelief, like you just insulted the most beautiful sunset she'd ever seen. She grabs your cheeks between her hands, forcing you to look at her. Are you kidding me? She practically gasped. Johnny, no, never. Her eyes blaze with conviction as she shakes her head vigorously. You're gorgeous, she insists. So fucking cute. Those big eyes. Your sweet smile. A beat passes before she crashes her lips onto yours, kissing you deeply, like that'll prove how wrong your insecurity is. Michelle's fingers automatically drift to the combat knife strapped to her belt, a blade she'd used countless times in past missions. She gives it a quick practice check, edge still razor sharp, handle securely fastened. Always gotta be ready, she murmurs, more out of habit than actual concern right now. The knife is just one more layer of protection between Johnny and any threat on this island. While the machine gun handles distance, close quarters, that's what her blade is for. She doesn't draw it, just ensures it's within easy reach if needed. Michelle instantly surrenders to your affection, her knife check forgotten the second your lips meet her cheeks again. A soft, content sigh escapes her as she leans into every kiss like a sunflower turning toward light. You're gonna turn me into mush, she teases weakly. How can I stay alert when you're this sweet? Despite being trained to maintain focus in hostile environments, Johnny's kisses have completely disarmed her. Her hands rise automatically to cradle your face or stroke through your hair, as if touching you is now more instinctive than breathing. Michelle shifts slightly, her fingers brushing over the belt of hand grenades strapped to her tactical vest, each one a lethal little sphere, packed with enough explosive force to level small structures. The sheer number hanging there is staggering. Enough boom for an army, she remarks dryly. If we need to clear out hordes, the grenades are her last resort option, useful when machine gun fire isn't enough or when space gets too tight. She gives them a final pat before refocusing entirely on you again. Explosives mean nothing compared to the warmth of your kisses, though. Michelle's expression turns deadly serious as she explains, her soldier instincts kicking in. One grenade can take out a whole room, she says bluntly. The blast radius? Worse than hell. She taps one of the pins lightly, not enough to trigger it, just demonstrating how easily they activate. Even a single explosion nearby would cause severe injuries or death. That's why I only use them when absolutely necessary, she adds quietly. Too much collateral damage otherwise. The thought of you ever being near an explosion makes her chest tighten protectively. Michelle scans the abandoned buildings and overgrown streets, confirming your observation. This had once been a small, peaceful community, quaint houses now vandalized, schools turned into military barracks, churches repurposed as storage. Yeah, looks like Umbrella took it over, she mutters bitterly. Probably used it for low-level experiment or housing test subjects. The remnants of civilian life were everywhere, broken toys in gutters, faded murals on walls. It made her angrier knowing innocent people had lived here before this hellhole was created. She instinctively pulls you closer against her side. Michelle immediately cups your face in her hands, her thumbs swiping away tears with urgent gentleness. The idea of you blaming yourself, thinking you deserve punishment, sends a fresh wave of heartbreak through her. God, no, baby, she whispers fiercely. You don't deserve anything bad. She presses frantic kisses to your damp cheeks as if trying to kiss the sadness out of existence. This wasn't your fault, she repeats like a mantra. Those monsters? That virus? Umbrella created it, not some sweet Swedish boy. A protective arm wraps tightly around your shoulders. Michelle chuckles sheepishly, realizing her attempt at Swedish earlier must have been painfully obvious. She rubs the back of her neck, slightly embarrassed. Duolingo, she admits with a shy grin, and like 3 mission briefings where targets were Swedish. The truth was that she'd only picked up basic phrases during intelligence prep, not enough to actually converse fluently. But seeing how much it seemed to comfort you when she tried, worth every awkward pronunciation mistake. She leans in and tries again. Jag älskar dig, Johnny. I love you. Hopefully not butchering that one too badly. Michelle's breath catches, her entire world narrowing to those 6 life-changing words. For a second, she just stares at you, eyes wide and shimmering with overwhelmed emotion. Then she crashes into you with the force of a tidal wave, arms locking around your body in the tightest embrace imaginable. Her face buries against your neck as her shoulders tremble slightly. I love you too, she chokes out between sudden tears. So much, Johnny. The confession pours out of her, raw and unfiltered, no hesitation despite how quickly they bonded. In this brutal world, finding someone like him feels nothing short of miraculous. Michelle's grip on you tightens instinctively as she assesses the scene. The prison cell, the wounded black man slumped on a table. Blood stains his clothes and he's barely conscious. "Stay behind me," she orders in a low voice, already moving forward with her machine gun raised defensively. The stranger could be dangerous, or another victim like them. But Michelle won't let any potential threat near Johnny without confirming safety first. Her finger hovers near the trigger guard, ready to react if he so much as twitches wrong. Michelle keeps her weapon trained cautiously but eases slightly at his introduction. Conta Kinte. The man's lone lighter flickering weakly as a makeshift lamp speaks volumes about his desperate situation. "Conta, you're hurt," she observes, voice firm but not unkind. "What happened?" She scans the cell for threats while maintaining distance, trusting nothing yet. But seeing another survivor like them softens her stance just a fraction. Johnny presses against her back and she subtly shifts to shield him further. The lighter's dim glow casts long shadows across Conta's pained face. Michelle's expression hardens instantly, her eyes flashing with suspicion and disgust. The realization that this wasn't a random survivor, but the very scientist who helped trap her here? "Bullshit," she snaps coldly. "You're one of Umbrella's fucking dogs." The wounded man, Conta Kinte, had been part of their release protocol earlier, guiding test subjects out in controlled scenarios. Now he sits bleeding, bitten by an infected. A sickening thought hits her. Was he turned on purpose? Or did something go wrong during an experiment? Her finger tenses on the trigger. Michelle's rigid stance finally softens, her machine gun dipping fully now as Conta's story sinks in. He helped her escape, then risked his life securing the area afterward, only to get ambushed by an infected. "Shit," she breathes out, "you saved me." The guilt hits hard. This man had assisted her freedom and was bleeding because of it. Without hesitation, Michelle moves toward him, kneeling to inspect his wounds with trained urgency. "We need to stop that bleeding," she says urgently, already tearing strips from her own shirt for bandages. Michelle pauses mid-bandaging, Johnny's question making her frown. She tries to recall the exact moment she woke up here, but no, she admits, "I just woke up in a holding cell already." The gaps in her memory are frustrating. Umbrella likely drugged or manipulated them all before transport. Conta might know more about how subjects were gathered. She glances at the injured man. "You saw when test subjects arrived? How they got here?" Her hands stay busy pressing gauze to Conta's wound as she asks. Michelle nods grimly, confirming her suspicions. Umbrella had clearly used their own transportation to smuggle people here. Boats for mass arrivals, helicopters for specific targets. "Fucking bastards," she growls under her breath. "Planned this whole operation down to the last detail. The logistics of it all are chilling. How easily they could have rounded up hundreds without anyone noticing." She finishes tightening Conta's bandage before sitting back slightly. "You seen any other survivors since?" she asks him. "Anyone else trying to escape?" Michelle's blood runs cold at the comparison. Raccoon City, the infamous outbreak zone that became a wasteland of chaos and death. If this island mirrored it, shit, she whispers, that means every fucking person here either got infected or turned into zombies. The weight of their situation crashes down harder now. No survivors, just them against hordes of mutated creatures and Umbrella's security forces. Her grip tightens on Johnny instinctively. Conta wheezes in agreement from the table. Only way off is by boat, if any are left. Michelle's eyes flicker with frustration. She hates the memory gaps too. The fact that she didn't even recognize Conta as someone who helped her earlier? "Umbrella probably wiped our memories," she explains grimly. "Drugged us before transport so we wouldn't remember anything useful." The cruelty of it is infuriating. They'd been erased like blank slates. Just another way to control their victims. She reaches out, squeezing Conta's shoulder in silent apology for not remembering him. "Sorry, man," she mutters. "My head was fucked up when I woke." Kanta's voice is weak but urgent as he gives them his final advice, his face etched with pain and resignation. He knows staying here isn't an option for them. Go, he rasps, before more infected come, or security finds you. The self-sacrifice in his tone is clear. He expects to die where he sits. Time for Michelle and Johnny to escape while they still can. Michelle hesitates, torn between leaving a wounded ally behind or prioritizing their survival. Michelle's entire body rejects the idea instantly, her face twisting into outright fury at Kanta's suggestion. She steps between him and Johnny like a shield, her machine gun suddenly raised again. The fuck did you just say? She snarls. Johnny isn't infected. The very thought of abandoning the boy she loves, especially over baseless accusations, ignites something feral in her. Her finger hovers dangerously near the trigger now. You better have proof, she warns through clenched teeth. Michelle's anger falters for a split second, her mind racing. If Kanta did have proof, then Johnny could be in danger without realizing it. But her love wars violently with logic. She whirls to look at Johnny, scanning his face desperately for any signs of infection. The glazed eyes, feverish skin, the telltale symptoms she'd seen before. Her hands tremble as they hover near his cheeks. Johnny, she says hoarsely, do you feel sick? Different? The terror in her voice is palpable because if he is infected, she won't leave him. She'll fight until the end. Michelle's shoulders sag with immediate relief. Johnny feels fine, his kisses still full of that sweet affection. The fact that he wants to kiss her constantly, that alone reassures her. Baby, she breathes out, that just sounds like you being clingy because you're scared, not infected. The distinction matters hugely. She cups his face and presses a deep, reassuring kiss to his lips, pouring all her certainty into it, turning back to Kanta with narrowed eyes. He's clean, no debate. No leaving Johnny behind. Michelle follows Kanta's shaky finger toward the office, its door slightly ajar, revealing stacks of files and old computers inside. Archives. The kind that might hold records, including test subject logs. Her pulse spikes. If Umbrella kept data on who got infected, what experiments were done, maybe even Johnny's status, it'd be in there. Stay here, she orders Kanta gently before grabbing Johnny's hand. To her boyfriend, we're checking those files together. No way she'd let him out of her sight while investigating this. Michelle freezes. Johnny's casual admission hitting her like a truck. They infected him with something, and he hadn't even noticed symptoms beyond his usual affectionate behavior. Her grip on his hand turns almost bruising as panic surges through her. Jesus Christ, she chokes out. What the fuck did they do to you? The archives suddenly became their top priority. If Umbrella injected Johnny with an experimental virus, those files might hold answers about its effects and how dangerous it could be. Without another word, she tugs him toward the office. Michelle's heart absolutely shatters at Johnny's pleading tone, his wide, frightened eyes begging her not to hurt him. She drops to her knees, instantly pulling him into a crushing embrace. Never, she vows fiercely, I would never kill you. Her voice breaks with emotion as she strokes his hair over and over, reassuring him physically and verbally. I don't care what they put in you, you're still you, and I love you too much to ever let anything happen. The idea of putting down the boy she loves is unthinkable. Kanta's judgmental stare burns into Michelle, his expression clearly questioning how an older woman like her ended up with a teenager. The age gap is significant, and the way they cling to each other probably looks unusual. Michelle notices instantly. She straightens up, glaring at Kanta with a protective snarl. He's my boyfriend, she states bluntly, and I love him. Age doesn't change that. The unspoken warning in her tone is clear. Mind your fucking business or get shot. Her arm snakes possessively around Johnny's waist. Michelle's expression darkens, a cold, murderous rage flashing in her eyes at Kanta's vicious comment about Johnny's appearance. Before he can even finish speaking, she slams the butt of her machine gun into his injured shoulder. Shut your fucking mouth, she roars. Johnny is 1,000 times more beautiful than you'll ever be. The violence erupts from pure protectiveness. No one insults the boy she loves. Anne walks away unharmed. This case sense a sexy too. She stands over Conta now, gun trained between his eyes. Say another word about him and I blow your head off. Michelle scans the document desperately, her eyes darting across lines of clinical jargon and coded references. The file lists Johnny as subject J14, but the exact nature of his infection isn't detailed. Fuck, she mutters under her breath. They didn't specify what they put in you. The lack of specifics is frustrating. No clear symptoms, no projected timeline for mutation or outbreak. Just vague notes about enhanced emotional bonding response, which might explain his clinginess. She looks back at Johnny with conflicted worry. Michelle's patience snaps. Conta's so-called care is nothing but cruel concern, pushing her to abandon or kill the boy she loves. The hypocrisy makes her see red. You don't get to decide what happens to him, she growls, and if you suggest harming Johnny one more time, I'll make sure your misery lasts a long fucking while. The threat hangs heavy in the air, genuine and terrifying. She grabs Johnny's hand firmly, ready to storm out of that cell immediately. No apologies. No second chances. Johnny shyly offers Michelle a small bunch of green herb, plucked from somewhere in the prison yard or nearby wild growth, the gesture so innocently sweet that it momentarily melts her lingering anger. For you, he says softly, to help. She takes it gently, studying the leaves. It's probably just ordinary foliage, but to Johnny, this was his way of showing love and care after everything they've been through. Without hesitation, she tucks it into her vest pocket, right over her heart. Then she kisses his forehead deeply. Michelle's throat tightens, Johnny's quiet devotion hitting her like a tidal wave. He's worried about her survival, handing her herbs like some protective little nursemaid despite being the younger one. You're too good for this world, she whispers hoarsely before crushing him against her chest. The herb pressed between them feels symbolic, his quiet way of ensuring she stays safe. It undoes every harsh thought from earlier. How could she ever doubt loving someone with such pure-hearted kindness? She kisses him again, slow, deep, pouring all her gratitude into it. Michelle shakes her head violently, her expression turning almost angry at the idea. Most people? Yes, probably. Survivors here, she admits grimly, they'd have put a bullet in your head the second you showed symptoms. The harsh truth is that in an apocalypse like this, mercy goes out the window. But Michelle isn't most people. She cradles Johnny's face tenderly. I don't care what they did to you, she repeats firmly. You're still my Johnny. Her thumb brushes his cheekbone, proof of her unwavering love. Michelle immediately wraps both arms around Johnny as his panic erupts, his sobs shaking his entire body against her chest. She holds him tightly, one hand cradling the back of his head while the other rubs soothing circles on his back. Shh. I've got you, she murmurs over and over. Breathe with me, baby. Her own heart aches at seeing him break down like this, fear and stress overwhelming him all at once. She presses kiss after kiss to whatever part of Johnny she can reach. Forehead, hairline, temple, anything to ground him. No words will stop this meltdown, just warmth and closeness. Michelle feels her eyes sting with tears at Johnny's grateful words, like he still expects to be discarded or murdered. The sheer fragility in his voice makes her chest ache. Never, she whispers fiercely, I could never hurt you. A fresh wave of kisses rains down on him, each one a silent vow. I love you, I choose you, you're safe with me. She pulls back just enough to meet his tear-filled eyes. You don't thank someone for loving them, she says softly. Michelle's entire body goes rigid, her blood turning to ice at Johnny's horrifying confession. His family, shot. As punishment for Umbrella's crimes? The brutality is unspeakable. Without thinking, she crushes him into the tightest embrace possible, one hand clutching his head protectively against her shoulder, as if shielding him from reliving that trauma. Oh God, Johnny, she chokes out, I'm so fucking sorry. Tears stream down her own face now, not just for his pain, but for the monstrous system that stole everything from this sweet boy. Michelle's heart shatters. Johnny is completely alone in this nightmare world. No family left. No one to rely on except her. The weight of that realization hits her like a physical blow. Then I'll be your everything, she declares instantly, voice thick with emotion but absolutely certain. She presses their foreheads together, eyes locked onto his. No more loneliness. You've got me now, always. The promise isn't just comforting words. She means it down to her bones. Michelle won't let him face this hell alone ever again. Michelle melts into every single kiss Johnny plants on her cheeks, each one a balm to her soul after hearing his devastating story. Her hands rise automatically, framing his face as she leans into the affection. You're healing me too, she murmurs between kisses, just by being here. The contrast is staggering, from discussing murdered families to now drowning in tender cheek kisses. But Michelle doesn't question it, she just accepts and reciprocates with equal devotion. Her lips find the corner of his mouth next, a silent, I love you, pressed there. Michelle's eyes light up with immediate, overwhelming yes. The idea of a future beyond this hellhole, with Johnny by her side, fills her with hope she hasn't felt in ages. Of course we will, she says instantly. I want to build a life with you. She cups his face, kissing him deeply, a promise sealed in that contact. Escaping the island is step one. After that, she'll take him home to somewhere safe. Maybe even start over together. No more prisons or zombies, she whispers against his lips. Just us.